Hi my friends, I hope you're well. Today I'd just like to share with you how I keep worms in my basement, worms that I harvest for fishing. And it's a very easy and efficient way if you go fishing regularly and need worms to add to your bait selection. So I don't use too many worms when I go on a fishing session. I also combine it with other baits, like I'm using maize or corn, or also using maggots. So I don't need that many earthworms at a fishing session. So I keep my worms in a pot. So what I've done is I just got myself a nice flower pot, and just make sure it's got a drainage hole at the bottom so that you don't end up with too much mud or a slurry at the bottom of your pot, because what will happen is the soil will start becoming a clay, and then it will start rotting and it will stink a lot. Having worms in a pot is enough for my fishing needs. Obviously I'm not selling these worms, it's just for me to go fishing, and it's more than enough for my once a week fishing session. So that works for me, and it saves money, and you don't have to drive far just to buy a few worms every time. It's very easy to keep these worms and to farm them. They are very low maintenance, and it helps to save some money and time. As I'm stirring the soil, you can see that I've got quite a few worms, nice big ones also. That's ideal for the hook sizes that I'm using. Sometimes a bigger hook size, or even to a small hook size. I have a variety of sizes in this pot. To feed the worms, I use used ground coffee from a coffee plunger. So every day I drink a lot of coffee. So once I've finished the full plunger of coffee, then I just take the used ground coffee and I just throw it out. Once I finish drinking or use the coffee plunger, then I just empty the used ground coffee in my flower pot for the worms, because they can feed off the used ground, and also the liquid from the coffee keeps the soil nice and moist, and it's a really good nourishment for the worms. You can also use wilted leftover vegetables, or obviously not cooked vegetables, but wilted or old vegetables like old cabbage leaves or tomatoes, or even fruit. You can use fruit that starts to go bad or rotten. You can use that. That's also good for the worms. Try not to use onions. I'm not sure, but I think it's not going to be good for the worms. You can actually use any organic material that can be composted. Every now and then when you stir the soil, you'll see small little worms appear. Then you know that you are on the right track and doing the right thing, and that the cycle of your harvesting is starting to take effect. It's good to stir the pot or the soil once a week at least, just to even out the soil and make sure that the soil is throughout evenly moist, and also it helps to spread the food evenly throughout the pot, so that it's easily accessible for the worms. I suppose you can also keep your worms in your garden if you have a big drum or container that you want to put the worms in. That's also a nice way to harvest worms, but just be careful of too much water or rain. That can have a bad effect on your farming. So usually after each fishing session, I'll just take the leftover worms and just put them back in the pot, and cover them with a little bit of soil, and then they are ready to use next time if I need them. And they are also there to multiply and make more worms. Guys, thank you for watching my video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a nice day.